Privacy is a form of power that often goes unnoticed until it's compromised. It is not just about keeping secrets or withholding information. It is about owning your narrative, your choices, and your peace of mind. In a world where sharing has become the norm, where social media, conversations, and even casual acquaintances encourage us to put our lives on display, privacy has become a rare and undervalued asset. When you maintain privacy, you create a safe space for yourself. This space allows you to reflect, grow, and make decisions without external noise. It's a space where your thoughts and emotions are yours alone, untainted by the expectations or opinions of others. This freedom is critical because it empowers you to think clearly and independently. Privacy enables you to focus on what truly matters to you without the distraction of external validation or criticism. Furthermore, privacy helps you preserve a sense of control. The moment you share something personal, you relinquish a part of that control to someone else. You can't dictate how they interpret your words, how they might retell your story, or how their opinion of you might change as a result. By keeping certain aspects of your life private, you ensure that your story is told on your terms, in your own time, and to the right audience. Privacy also protects your emotional well-being. When you share deeply personal aspects of your life with someone who may not fully understand or respect them, you expose yourself to potential judgment, criticism, or even betrayal. Over time, this can erode your confidence and sense of self. But when you hold your privacy sacred, you build a protective barrier against these emotional risks. You decide who has access to your vulnerabilities, ensuring that your energy and emotions are spent on relationships and conversations that nurture and uplift you. In the broader sense, privacy fosters a sense of mystery and individuality. In a world where everyone's lives seem to be on display, there's something profoundly powerful about maintaining an air of the unknown. It's not about being aloof or distant. It's about valuing yourself enough to recognize that not everyone deserves access to your innermost thoughts, experiences, and emotions. The more you preserve your privacy, the more you create an environment where people are drawn to you for who you are, not for the information they think they have about you. Trust is one of the most valuable yet fragile elements of human connection. It is not something that can be granted freely or without thought, nor is it something that should be taken lightly. Trust is a currency that carries immense weight, and like any valuable resource, it must be invested with care and intention. The truth is, trust is not an automatic right that others are entitled to. It is a privilege they must earn through consistent actions, mutual respect, and genuine understanding. When we give trust too freely, we open ourselves up to potential harm. Trusting someone means granting them access to parts of yourself that are vulnerable and delicate. It's like handing someone the key to a locked chest that contains your most precious possessions. If that person hasn't demonstrated their reliability or shown they value your well-being, the consequences of misplaced trust can be painful, leaving you feeling betrayed or exposed. Earning trust takes time because it requires a foundation built on mutual effort and shared experiences. True trust doesn't come from words alone. It comes from actions. It's in the little things, how someone shows up when they promise to, how they handle your vulnerabilities with care, how they respect your boundaries, and how they support you without expecting something in return. These actions form the building blocks of trust, and without them, trust remains superficial and precarious. On the flip side, misplaced trust can erode your sense of self. When you place your confidence in someone who hasn't earned it, you risk being let down in ways that leave lasting scars. You might begin to question your own judgment, doubting whether you can ever trust others or even yourself again. This is why being selective about whom you trust is not about being cold or unapproachable. It's about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. Trust also requires reciprocity. It is not a one-sided exchange, but a shared bond where both parties feel equally safe and valued. This mutual respect strengthens the connection, creating a safe space where vulnerability is met with understanding rather than exploitation. If someone expects your trust without offering the same in return, it's a red flag that should not be ignored. Trust must flow in both directions, nurtured by honesty, empathy, and accountability. Moreover, trust is not a permanent state. It is something that must be maintained. Even after it has been earned, it requires continual effort to preserve. People evolve, circumstances change, and relationships are tested. Those who truly value your trust will work to sustain it, recognizing that it is not something to be taken for granted. The effort to maintain trust is a reflection of their character and commitment to the relationship. When trust is earned rather than freely given, it becomes a powerful bond that withstands challenges and deepens over time. It creates a foundation for authentic relationships where both parties feel safe to be themselves without fear of judgment or betrayal. This foundation is what transforms connections from superficial interactions into meaningful partnerships built to last. Oversharing can seem harmless in the moment, a venting session with a colleague, a candid post on social media, or a heartfelt confession to someone you barely know. It may even feel cathartic, as if lifting a weight off your chest. But what many fail to realize is that sharing personal details, especially with the wrong audience, creates ripples. These ripples can extend far beyond your initial intention, sometimes in ways you can't foresee or control. Every time you share a piece of your personal life, you release it into a world that is unpredictable. Words can travel from person to person, evolving with each retelling, often stripped of the context or emotion you originally intended. What began as a simple, heartfelt statement can morph into gossip, speculation, or even judgment. The control you had over your narrative vanishes the moment your words leave your lips or your fingertips. It's the burden of regret that sometimes carries the world with it and can hurt and easily when you release. Oversharing can also create unintended consequences in your relationships. When you share too much with someone who hasn't earned your trust or who lacks the capacity to handle your vulnerability, you may inadvertently damage the relationship. They may feel overwhelmed, uncomfortable, or even burdened by information they didn't ask for. In some cases, they might weaponize your openness against you, using your shared details as leverage or fodder for their own agenda. Additionally, oversharing can lead to a loss of boundaries, which are essential for healthy relationships and personal well-being. When you habitually disclose too much, you blur the lines between what's private and what's public. This lack of boundaries can invite people to overstep, assuming they have a right to comment on or involve themselves in your personal affairs. Over time, this can erode your sense of autonomy and create a dynamic where you feel exposed or even powerless in your own life. The ripple effect of oversharing extends beyond interpersonal dynamics. It can also affect your reputation. People are naturally inclined to form opinions based on the information they have, even if it's incomplete or out of context. Sharing too much, especially in professional or public settings, can unintentionally shape how others perceive you. They might see you as unprofessional, overly emotional, or lacking discretion, which could impact opportunities or relationships down the line. Social media amplifies the ripple effect of oversharing. In the digital age, what you share online can live forever, resurfacing in unexpected ways. A post meant to express vulnerability or seek support can be screenshotted, misinterpreted, or shared beyond your intended audience. What might feel like an intimate moment shared with friends can quickly become a public spectacle, open to criticism or mockery from strangers. Moreover, oversharing can take a toll on your emotional well-being. Every time you share something deeply personal, you make yourself vulnerable. If your openness is met with apathy, judgment, or misunderstanding, it can lead to feelings of regret, embarrassment, or even shame. Over time, this pattern can drain your emotional reserves and leave you questioning your judgment about whom to trust and what to share. The act of oversharing doesn't only affect the individual who shares, it also impacts those around them. When someone repeatedly overshares, it can create an imbalance in relationships. Others might feel obligated to reciprocate with their own personal stories, even if they're not ready or willing to do so. Alternatively, they may feel the need to distance themselves, finding the constant flow of personal information overwhelming or invasive. While sharing parts of yourself is an important aspect of building connections, oversharing bypasses the natural progression of trust and intimacy. It can create a false sense of closeness that isn't supported by mutual understanding or respect. This fragile foundation often crumbles under the weight of the expectations and assumptions created by sharing too much too soon. Your life is a story, a narrative that unfolds with every choice, every experience, and every moment you live. It is uniquely yours, shaped by your values, struggles, triumphs, and dreams. But what many fail to realize is that the power to control that story lies in your hands. It's not just about what you share, it's about how, when, and with whom you choose to share it. The moment you relinquish control of your story to someone else, even unintentionally, you risk losing a piece of that ownership. Sharing your story is not inherently bad. In fact, it can be an act of courage and connection. But the key lies in understanding that not every part of your journey needs to be shared with everyone. When you hold on to the power of your narrative, you get to decide which chapters remain private, which moments are shared with an intimate circle, and which messages you present to the broader world. This ability to curate your story allows you to maintain control over how others perceive and engage with you. One of the greatest risks of losing control of your story is the potential for misinterpretation. When you share your personal experiences without considering the audience or context, those details can be taken out of context, misunderstood, or reshaped by others. The nuances of your emotions, intentions, and experiences are often lost in translation, and suddenly the story being told about you no longer feels like your own. This is especially true in a world dominated by social media and instant communication. The digital age has made it easy to share our lives with an audience of friends, acquaintances, and even strangers. But once your story is out there, whether through a post, a comment, or a photo, it becomes subject to the interpretations and judgments of countless others. These interpretations can shape how you are perceived, sometimes in ways that are far removed from your original intention. Your story is also tied to your sense of identity. When you share too much too freely, you risk diluting the parts of your identity that matter most to you. Others may latch on to a single detail or moment, defining you by it rather than seeing the full, complex person you are. By maintaining control over what you share, you ensure that your identity is presented in a way that aligns with your values and the image you wish to project. Maintaining control of your story also empowers you to set boundaries. Not every part of your life needs to be up for discussion or debate. By choosing what to share and what to keep private, you create a sense of safety and security for yourself. This boundary setting is not about exclusion, it's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your life is a sacred space and not everyone has earned the right to enter it. In today's fast-pacing and interconnected world, protecting your energy and mental health has become not just important, but essential. Every interaction, decision, and responsibility you take on has an impact on your mental and emotional reserves. Just as your body needs rest and nutrition to function at its best, your mind and spirit need boundaries and care to thrive. When you neglect to protect your energy, you risk depleting your mental health, leaving yourself vulnerable to stress, burnout, and emotional instability. Energy is a finite resource. Each day you wake up with a certain amount of emotional, mental, and physical energy to spend. How you choose to allocate this energy determines not only your productivity, but also your overall sense of well-being. Protecting your energy means being intentional about where you invest it and recognizing the situations, people, or habits that drain it unnecessarily. It's about acknowledging that not every demand on your time and attention is worth your energy, and not every relationship or activity serves your growth or happiness. One of the most effective ways to protect your energy is by setting boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that separate your needs, values, and emotional well-being from the expectations and demands of others. Without clear boundaries, you may find yourself constantly overcommitting, saying yes when you mean no, or taking on responsibilities that aren't yours to bear. Over time, this can lead to resentment, exhaustion, and a diminished sense of self. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-respect and self-preservation. Another key aspect of protecting your energy is being mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Relationships are one of the biggest factors that influence your mental health. Some people uplift and energize you, while others drain you with negativity, criticism, or excessive demands. Protecting your energy means recognizing the difference and prioritizing relationships that bring joy, support, and mutual respect. It also means learning to let go of toxic connections, even if it's difficult, for the sake of your mental well-being. The digital world presents its own set of challenges when it comes to protecting your energy and mental health. Social media, for example, can be a double-edged sword. While it offers connection and entertainment, it can also be a source of comparison, misinformation, and overstimulation. Endless scrolling through curated images and opinions can leave you feeling inadequate, anxious, or overwhelmed. Protecting your energy in this context means setting limits on your screen time, curating your feed to align with your values, and knowing when to step away altogether. Protecting your mental health also involves recognizing the impact of your environment. Your surroundings, both physical and emotional, play a significant role in how you feel and function. A cluttered or chaotic space can drain your mental energy, while a calm and organized environment can promote clarity and peace of mind. Similarly, being in a supportive and positive emotional environment fosters growth and resilience, while being in a hostile or negative one can erode your confidence and well-being. Self-awareness is another critical component of protecting your energy and mental health. It's about tuning into your emotions, recognizing when you're feeling drained or overwhelmed, and taking steps to address those feelings before they escalate. This might mean saying no to additional responsibilities, taking a break to recharge, or seeking help when you need it. Self-awareness also involves understanding your triggers and stressors so you can proactively manage them rather than reacting impulsively. Rest and recovery are equally important in safeguarding your mental health. Just as a phone battery needs recharging to function, your mind and body need rest to maintain their energy levels. Yet in a culture that often glorifies busyness and productivity, rest is frequently undervalued. Protecting your energy means prioritizing rest as a non-negotiable part of your routine, whether that's through quality sleep, relaxation, or engaging in activities that rejuvenate you. Another way to protect your energy is by being mindful of your thoughts and self-talk. Your internal dialogue has a profound impact on your mental health. Negative self-talk, excessive self-criticism, or dwelling on past mistakes can drain your emotional energy and perpetuate feelings of inadequacy. Protecting your mental health involves challenging these negative patterns and replacing them with compassion, encouragement, and positivity. Lastly, protecting your energy and mental health means recognizing that you can't do it all, and that's okay. Society often places immense pressure on individuals to excel in every aspect of life, from work to relationships to personal growth. This pressure can lead to unrealistic expectations and a constant sense of inadequacy. By acknowledging your limits and prioritizing what truly matters, you can protect your energy and focus on what brings you fulfillment and peace. In a world where connections are instant and sharing is effortless, safeguarding your personal life is not just a choice, but a necessity. The balance between vulnerability and strength, the art of protecting your energy, and the discipline of maintaining control over your story are essential to preserving your mental and emotional well-being. Trust is a precious currency earned through consistency and respect, not given freely to all. Oversharing, though tempting in moments of emotional release, can create ripples that undermine your boundaries and reputation. By setting clear boundaries, practicing discernment, and choosing wisely whom to trust, you reclaim the power over your narrative. Protecting your energy and mental health is an act of self-respect and a gift to yourself. And remember, your personal life is your sanctuary. By honoring it, you ensure that the connections you build are meaningful and your path forward is firmly in your control.